The judge cleared his throat and prepared to make his final inquiry to me. Defendant, Ms. Cassandra, regarding the DNA test report provided by the plaintiff and Ms. Tiffany's testimony, do you have any other objections to state? I met the judge's gaze, answering each word clearly and distinctly. Your Honor, my evidence is my son. I request that my son, Buddy, be summoned to testify. The judge's gavel came down, and the courtroom doors slowly opened. Call the defendant, Buddy, to the stand. All eyes were fixed on the doorway. Brenda and Tiffany stared intensely, eager to tear apart the animal who had defiled Tiffany. However, when my son walked into the courtroom, everyone present was dumbfounded. The courtroom, which had been buzzing with anger and accusations just seconds earlier, fell so silent that you could hear the ticking of the wall clock. Every head turned toward the door, where my son, Buddy, stood. Brenda's mouth hung open, her face draining of all color as if someone had sucked the life out of her. Tiffany, who had been sobbing dramatically just moments before, froze mid-breath, her tears still clinging to her cheeks, her eyes wide with disbelief. The jury members leaned forward in their seats, their expressions shifting from rage to confusion to utter shock. Buddy stood there, his small frame dwarfed by the oversized suit I'd borrowed for him. His hands were clasped tightly in front of him, and his big, innocent eyes scanned the room without a hint of fear, only curiosity. At that moment, Brenda let out a shrill scream that cut through the silence like a knife. That's not Buddy. Cassandra, you liar. You brought a child here to fool everyone, she shrieked, pointing a trembling finger at my son. My daughter said Buddy was a grown man, tall, strong, able to drag her to the rooftop. This kid is no older than 10. You think we're idiots? Tiffany's lawyer was quick to recover, stepping forward to glare at me. Your Honor, this is a farce. The defendant is clearly trying to obstruct justice by parading a random child in front of the court. This is contempt of court. I remained calm, folding my arms across my chest as I looked at Brenda. This is my son, Buddy. He just turned 8 last month. The day we moved in, he stayed in the car the entire time while I carried our luggage upstairs. You never saw him. Tiffany never saw him either, because he was asleep in our apartment by the time she claims she rode the elevator with him to go to tutoring. The judge frowned, leaning forward to study Buddy. Ms. Cassandra, are you certain this is your son, Buddy? The plaintiff claims your son is an adult capable of assaulting a young woman. I'm certain, I said firmly, beckoning Buddy to my side. He walked over, taking my hand without hesitation. I squeezed his fingers gently, reassuring him before turning back to the court. Buddy has autism. He rarely speaks to strangers, and he's terrified of crowded places. The idea of him dragging anyone to a rooftop, let alone assaulting someone, is physically and mentally impossible for him. He can barely tie his own shoes, let alone overpower an 18-year-old girl. A murmur rippled through the courtroom. The jury members exchanged glances, their earlier anger fading into doubt. Brenda's face turned bright red, a mix of fury and panic. Lies, all lies. You're making up excuses for him. The DNA report doesn't lie. His bodily fluids were on my daughter. Tiffany, who had been silent since Buddy entered, suddenly let out a choked sob. I don't understand. That's not the boy I saw. The boy who attacked me was older, taller, with dark hair and a scar on his cheek. His name was Buddy, he said so. Because you were told to say that, I said sharply. You were told to name my son Buddy.